What if I told you that one of the most famous women in modern history wasn't actually invited to the biggest party in London, but somehow got inside anyway? What if the future First Lady of the United States used nothing but charm, confidence, and sheer determination to walk through doors that were never meant to open for her? Tonight, we're stepping away from Weatherfield for a remarkable true story filled with ambition, glamour, power, and a young woman who was already showing the world exactly who she would become. Because long before she became Jackie Kennedy, long before Camelot, long before the White House, there was one unforgettable night during Queen Elizabeth II's coronation. And it revealed more about Jacqueline Bouvier than anyone could have imagined. Welcome back to Coronation Street Update. If you enjoy dramatic storytelling, fascinating royal history, and incredible real-life stories packed with ambition, mystery, and unforgettable moments, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Because this story feels like something straight out of a movie. Let's travel back to London. June 2, 1953. The day Queen Elizabeth II was crowned. Rain fell across the city. Crowds packed the streets. History was unfolding before the world's eyes. The atmosphere was electric. Hope, excitement, a sense that Britain was entering a brand new era. Among the thousands covering the historic event was a young American journalist named Jacqueline Bouvier. Only 23 years old. Unknown to most people. Armed with little more than a camera and extraordinary determination. She spent the day working. Walking through rain-soaked streets. Photographing scenes. Interviewing people. Capturing one of the greatest royal events of the 20th century. By the time evening arrived, she was exhausted. Cold, drenched. Ready to kick off her shoes and rest. But then something happened. Something that would reveal the remarkable instincts that would later make her one of the most admired women in the world. Because while London celebrated its new queen, another event was becoming the hottest ticket in town. An extravagant American coronation ball. Hosted by legendary socialite Pearl Mesta. And this wasn't just another party. This was the party. The invitation everyone wanted. The gathering where royalty, aristocrats, celebrities, diplomats, and social elites would all come together beneath crystal chandeliers and glittering lights. For Americans visiting London, this invitation was pure gold. The guest list was extraordinary. Hollywood legends, business tycoons, international aristocrats, political power players. Everyone wanted to be there. Everyone. Except there was one problem. Jacqueline Bouvier wasn't invited. For most people, that would have been the end of the story. No invitation. No entry. No chance. But Jacqueline Bouvier was not most people. And that is where this story becomes fascinating. Because instead of accepting defeat, she took action. A bold action. A risky action. A move that could have ended in embarrassment. Or success. And that's when everything changes. Rather than giving up, Jackie and her friend Aileen Bowden headed directly to Pearl Mesta's home. Think about the confidence that required. No invitation. No guarantee. Just belief. A belief that if she could get face-to-face with the hostess, she might be able to make her case. Imagine standing outside that grand London residence. Knowing some of the world's most powerful people would soon be inside. Knowing you weren't invited. Knowing one awkward conversation could end everything. Most people would turn around. Jackie knocked on the door. And what happened next became the stuff of legend. Pearl Mesta answered. Standing before her was a striking young woman carrying a camera. Energetic. Confident. Impossible to ignore. Jackie introduced herself. She explained she was covering the coronation. She mentioned family connections. She spoke warmly. Naturally. Effortlessly. Within minutes, she had transformed from an unknown visitor into a welcomed guest. Pearl later admitted she simply liked her. She thought the young women deserved to enjoy themselves. So she invited them in. Just like that. One conversation. One opportunity. One moment. And the doors opened. But what waited inside was beyond anything Jackie could have imagined. Londonderry House was dazzling. Absolutely breathtaking. Lavish rooms overflowed with guests. Golden light reflected from magnificent chandeliers. Music echoed through grand halls. Champagne flowed freely. The atmosphere was intoxicating. This wasn't merely a party. It was a celebration of power, status, prestige, post-war optimism. The kind of event people talk about for decades. And young Jacqueline Bouvier suddenly found herself right in the middle of it. The future First Lady walked among Hollywood royalty, business empires, European aristocracy, people whose names dominated newspapers around the world. She wasn't intimidated. She observed. She listened. She learned. And perhaps most importantly, she belonged. That psychological detail matters. Because Jackie possessed something extraordinary. The ability to move comfortably through elite spaces without appearing overwhelmed by them. Many people spend their lives trying to enter exclusive circles. Jackie entered them naturally. As though she had always been destined to be there. But that may not be the whole truth. Because beneath the elegance and confidence was something even more powerful. Ambition. Not loud ambition. Not aggressive ambition. Strategic ambition. The kind that recognizes opportunities when others miss them. The kind that understands relationships matter. The kind that quietly builds a future one conversation at a time. As the evening unfolded, Jackie moved effortlessly through the crowd. According to accounts from the night, numerous young men eagerly asked her to dance. People noticed her. People remembered her. And why wouldn't they? She possessed that rare quality that can't be taught. Presence. The ability to enter a room and make people curious. Hours passed. Music continued. Champagne glasses clinked. The celebrations stretched deep into the night. Then deeper still. Supper was served around 3 o'clock in the morning. Guests sat on dance floors. Nobody wanted the evening to end. The atmosphere had become almost dreamlike. A magical moment suspended in time. A city celebrating a new queen. A generation celebrating peace after war. And a young journalist unknowingly taking another step toward her own destiny. What happens next is remarkable. Because Jackie wasn't simply enjoying the evening. She was studying it. Watching. Absorbing. Recording details. The future First Lady was already developing the social intelligence that would later captivate presidents, diplomats, royalty, and world leaders. When she later wrote about the event, her description was filled with wonder. She called it the greatest show in London. Second only to the coronation itself. Think about that. Among all the events surrounding one of history's most famous coronations, this party stood out. And Jackie knew it. Years later, fate would complete a stunning circle. The young woman who once talked her way into London's most exclusive party would return to Britain under very different circumstances. No longer Jacqueline Bouvier. Now Jacqueline Kennedy. First Lady of the United States. Wife of President John F. Kennedy. One of the most famous women on earth. In 1961 she walked through the doors of Buckingham Palace. Not as an ambitious young reporter. Not as an uninvited guest. But as a global icon. A woman dining with Queen Elizabeth II herself. The contrast is extraordinary. 8 years earlier she had been persuading a socialite to let her into a party. Now she was sitting beside monarchs. Speaking with royalty. Representing an entire nation. But perhaps the most fascinating thing about this story isn't the glamour. It's the lesson hidden beneath it. Because Jackie Kennedy's journey wasn't built on luck alone. It was built on courage, curiosity, confidence, and the willingness to take chances others would never dare take. That rainy coronation night revealed something important. Jackie Kennedy wasn't waiting for opportunities to find her. She was creating them. And maybe that's why this story still resonates today. Because sometimes the moments that change our lives don't begin with an invitation. Sometimes they begin with a closed door. And the courage to knock. So what do you think? Was Jackie Kennedy's bold move a sign of the confidence that would later make her a global icon? Would you have had the courage to do what she did? And do you think Pearl Mesta had any idea she had just welcomed a future First Lady into her party? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for Coronation Street update. Because history is often stranger, more dramatic, and more fascinating than fiction. And trust me, there are many more incredible stories still waiting to be told.